Episode 3 of Loner Life in Another World starts off with Haruka nearly getting his eardrums burst by class rep's scream. While class rep gives Haruka an earful for still not using her name despite having known her since first grade, the rest of the girls of the class start showing up, winded from trying to catch up to the class rep's speed. As class rep asks Haruka why exactly Shimazaki and the others, aka the gal group, are zombies and starts suspecting Haruka of having a hand in it, Haruka wishes someone would tell him what happened too.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
As he tries to explain how 3 girls are currently under his servitude to the entire female demographic of his class, he begins to freeze from their cold, judgmental stares. Wanting out of this awkward social situation, Haruka bids the girls farewell and takes his leave. But the girls stop him. Haruka sulks, as his right to be a shut-in loser is not being given to him. A gentle shaking from class rep reverts the gals back to normal, and they start getting asked about what happened, while Haruka is told to stay put like a trained dog.
Today your ass is gonna die, bitch!
While the gals get questioned about their quote-unquote traumatic experiences, Haruka decides to make good use of his free time and work on expanding his home base with a basement or something, but ends up making himself a plant instead, burying him up to his neck. Like a mother finding her toddler in a mess just a few moments after looking away, class rep asks Haruka how he accomplished burying himself in the ground when she told him to just stay put. Class rep pulls Haruka out of the ground like some radish. The class rep and the girls realize Haruka was just trying to help the gals, and they all thank him for it, while the socially inept Haruka struggles to take the compliment and asks if he could leave now. The girls start hollering at Haruka for asking to leave before helping them. The class rep asks Haruka what he meant by going home. Haruka tells her he meant his home in this isekai world. The girls are quite impressed with Haruka for this. The girls then hold a girls' meeting.
A few moments later.
Upon their asking, Haruka tells the girls he could fit 240 people in his home. Class rep yells at Haruka for living in such luxury all this time by himself while they were barely scraping by. Class rep, egged on by the rest of the girls, hesitantly asks Haruka if it would be alright if they stayed at his place just for the night. Haruka, shocked by this request to say the least, agrees and starts guiding them to his man cave. Haruka confuses the girls by making turns at invisible corners and intersections only he could see in the forest thanks to his skill.
Hackerman.
They all finally arrive at their destination, and Haruka welcomes them to his humble abode. The girls are left stunned by the grandeur and glam of his quote-unquote humble home. Haruka gets a bit embarrassed by this, thinking they are even more excited than the nerds. He then tells the girls where's what, but they ignore him, like Karen ignores reason, and all hop into the bath, finally getting a chance to be alone. Haruka recharges his loner battery when he sees the class rep at the entrance, judging him for being so happy to be a loner. She then reveals that after the nerds left, the rest of the boys did as well, and the girls were left worried. But Haruka's help really helped calm them down, especially the food and the bath. When the class rep talks about not being able to do anything for the class despite being the class rep, Haruka tries to cheer her up by reassuring her that she did everything she could with her limited knowledge of the isekai world. With her mood slightly improved by this, the class rep thanks Haruka for cheering her up, but dishes in an indirect burn by asking Haruka, wouldn't he be weirder than the nerds since he had a house, food, and could defeat monsters in this world? Haruka is glad she's back to being her sharp and sly self again. The two tell each other goodnight. Haruka gets awoken by a purple-haired girl who tells him breakfast is ready. Wondering if his popular phase has finally started, Haruka asks her for a little sleep time. The purple-haired girl, who doesn't seem to know what personal space is, asks Haruka if he is really planning on getting up or not. Haruka asks what's for breakfast. The girl tells him it's mushroom and grilled fish. Thrilled at the thought of finally getting a chance to eat something other than mushrooms, Haruka gets up in excitement, headbutting her in the process. As the class rep checks on the purple-haired girl's head bruise, Haruka chows down grilled fish, not being able to hold his tears back after finally eating fish. Class rep asks Haruka if he must cry like this over fish when he lives next to a river, but unbeknownst to them, poor Haruka had only been able to watch the fish swim around in the river in front of him while eating mushrooms, since he could never manage to catch the slippery fish. The girls start to question Haruka's manliness for saying this. Haruka asks if they had a way to catch them then. The girls smile, and the vice class rep shows Haruka how it's done. She makes a ball of lighting and drops it into the river where the fish are, and with a quick zap, it electrocutes the fish. Impressed by this, Haruka begs her to do it again. Vice rep agrees, and as she forms the lightning ball again, Haruka, using his packing skill, packs it into a transparent cube, takes it to the spot where he can see some fish, and throws it in. Finally catching some fish himself, Haruka is overjoyed, like he discovered the cure for cancer or something. Haruka unlocks level 1 of lightning magic, which he explains he was able to learn by packing it with packing skill, which could be used to learn any elemental magic. His theory about why he is able to do this is because of the synergy between his packing and Master of None skill. Class rep praises the skill of Haruka for being so useful, but Haruka bashfully tells her his skills are just a bunch of useless ones, while class rep and the others have the best ones. As the gals have fun throwing water at each other, the class rep then tells Haruka they plan on heading for the nearest town when Haruka asks her about their plans moving forward. Haruka figures the gals were still on the hunt for the nerds, still doubtful of their intentions. The class rep tells him they plan on leveling up their skills before that. Haruka agrees that that's the right decision if they plan to hunt the nerds, teasing the gals. Haruka offers them his help, and the class rep thanks him for that, but makes it clear to him they were not in fact hunting the nerds. Haruka expresses his disappointment at the missed opportunity of a cheat skills-equipped gals versus nerds battle. Haruka starts off by asking their current levels to assess where they're at currently, but regrets it pretty soon when he finds out they're all level 16 or above, while their quote-unquote teacher's a mere level 7. Haruka then pushes away a bush to reveal 3 mid-level kobolds hiding in them, as if he had asked them to hide there. He then tells the girls to defeat them. The girls act all smug as if it were as simple as 2 plus 2. Haruka signals the start of the battle, and the girls get beaten with ease by the kobolds, leaving Haruka shocked by how much they suck. Haruka questions his decision about teaching them when he finds them all gathered in his expandable tent, reviewing what had happened. The girls then get pumped up for round 2, confident in their victory this time around. Haruka breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he's getting his tent all to himself again, when he finds the purple-haired girl right next to him. She tells him she's there to apologize for this morning, and was actually testing his intentions since some of the other boys tried to attack her and it had left her traumatized. But she was now convinced he was different from the other boys because of all the help he had given them in their time of need. She then bashfully asks if she could bring him grilled fish next morning too. Haruka smiles and agrees. It's the next morning, and Haruka is enjoying his grilled fish breakfast that the fish girl had brought him when he hears the girls planning on going for their rematch already despite their awful defeat. But the class rep interferes in their fantasy revenge and tells them they should train first. Haruka approves of this, and after some rather harsh training, the day of the rematch is finally at hand. And Haruka questions the whole thing after some girls start making petty excuses before the fight. As Haruka thinks this is a complete bust, one of the kobolds attacks an unsuspecting girl, but the purple-haired girl makes it in time to block it, and fueled by the fire that is apologizing to the nerds, the gal leader delivers a thorough chest kick to the kobold, sending him flying away. The girls then turn the tables on the kobolds and end up defeating them finally. Haruka takes a sigh of relief as the girls celebrate the fruits of their labor, with one of them exhibiting true sportsmanship. Haruka lays on his back on the ground, thinking the girls could finally head to town now, and that his loner life was returning finally as well. But Haruka's dream is short-lived as the class rep tells him he's coming to town with them, and with a deathly passive-aggressive smile, makes Haruka give in. As the class rep makes sure everyone has the essentials with them, Haruka and the fish girl try to stuff an already full bag with mushrooms, like there won't be any food where they're going or something. The girls finally start their journey to town, and Haruka tells the class rep they should be ready for everything, because there's no telling what could happen from here on out, as if sensing trouble on the horizon. Sure enough, there is some, because next we see a boy frantically running away from someone, a hooded person who the boy begs for his life from. The hooded person then strangles the boy, smiles like a psycho, and leaves, at which point the episode ends. Stay connected, like and subscribe for more fun recaps on one and only Endless Recaps.